Hello. Where do we start with that shit show? Oh my goodness, that was not good at all. Obviously, we expected quite a bit of a pushback from the Oilers, but boy, did I not expect it to be that much. By the way, I have my ear pods in today because the music's still on here. I usually don't start these until they turn it off, but let me know if the sound sounds like shit. I could take them out, but I think it's supposed to be better. So somebody tell me if the sound is bad. Let me know. So the game starts out. Obviously, I think it's understandable. We know there's going to be more of a push. We're going to see more from the Oilers to start this game. That was obvious. They weren't very good in game one. They said they weren't going to be they said they weren't very good. They're going to be better. We knew that was coming. So for them to get that offensive zone time quickly, it's not horribly surprising. The disappointing part is it's multiple chances that are high danger chances right away, right off the top. Like they have one where I can't remember if it was Bouchard or Nurse. Draisaitl flips one back, has a great opportunity to Bouchard. I think it was Bouchard, and he fans on it. Puck comes out, and we go the other way. Then afterwards, another opportunity. Draisaitl gets another great dangerous chance. It goes off the back. It ends up with a scramble out in front. Puck's kind of sitting there, and we get the cross check that ends up leading to that first penalty. Like, yes, it's easy to say, stay out of the box. Don't take penalties. That's what you have to do against this team. I understand that that is the plan. I get that. But the fact of the matter is, you cannot live in your own zone. You cannot have wide open neutral zone if you're expecting to not take penalties. It can't go that way. It has to be more like that shift that Carlson, Amadio, and Smith had right off of the TV timeout. It has to be like the shift that came up right after that, where they drew the penalty. Howden drew the penalty. It has to be in their zone constantly. You don't even have to do all that much with it because they're going to give you these opportunities. They're not good defensively. Not horrific as it seemed in game one, but they're not very good. So when the game starts out, you know they're going to get their push. It can't be wide open neutral zone. Make them throw it in. Get the gaps. Get it set. Golden Knights were just on their heels to start this game. And it leads to an immediate power play goal, which then puts you further on your heels, unlike last game, followed by another power play goal, puts you further on your heels, followed by the shorthanded goal, which is power play's a problem. Like the Golden Knights power play's not good. And so that becomes a main issue. And granted, this game ends 1-1 at even strength. We will get into some of the things that went right because there were a few things over the course of this game, but just starting in the wrong way, basically. And it's like, you have to be aggressive. You have to bring pressure against this team. And the Golden Knights just flat out didn't do it for the first 8 to 10 minutes of the game. And it ends up snowballing into an absolute disaster that just did not get better. And it may have gotten a little bit better in the second period. The game's basically over in the third period, so there's not much to take out of that. But you know that's closer to what Edmonton is. Now, that's way further away from what the Golden Knights are. So as much as we wanted to make a big deal out of game one and we don't want to make a big deal out of game two, it's somewhere in between. The Oilers aren't that much better than the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights aren't that much better than the Oilers, right? Neither of those are the case. It's somewhere in between. But you can see the parts of the game that are going to cause the Golden Knights problems. You can see the parts of the game that the Edmonton Oilers are going to have their own problems. Vegas did not get to it even close to enough, early enough in the game. And by the time they finally started getting to it at all, it's too late. It's over, moving forward. And like Chase says, as simple as we can put it, it's a best of 5. Granted, you're going to have to win one up there. Golden Knights have won on the road a lot. I'm not all that worried about how they're going to play on the road. I am worried about the matchup a little bit, as I was going in. This is not an easy matchup at all. At all. This team is not just McDavid and Draisaitl. They're more than that. And you saw that today with some of their depth players, the Yamamotos, and Bukestad was better. Nugent Hopkins, obviously, is a 100-point player. He's not a depth player, but he was a lot better. I thought Derek Ryan was very good in today's game. And you saw what's happening is when they are able to push the pace, when they're able to get into the offensive zone without just dumping it in and not getting it back, which is what we saw in game one, other than Draisaitl and McDavid, other than when they were together, the Oilers were struggling to get it in. Today, that wasn't the case. And so that minimizes the matchups that the Golden Knights have. The biggest plan for the Golden Knights in this series is to have some sort of answer for McDavid and Draisaitl playing together. Once they do, they have to be able to take advantage of the other groups of lines. That did not happen today because they were constantly being handed off under the cosh is the term that I'll use. It's a soccer term. Basically, what I'm saying is when McDavid and Draisaitl were out there, they're generating chances. Then Vegas finally gets it out. Now the next line comes on, not nearly as dangerous a line, and all of a sudden they're in with the neutral zone wide open. It's constant problems. And if the Golden Knights cannot get the puck in deep and forecheck and get it in and keep it in, they're going to have to deal with this type of game over and over and over again. And like I said off the top, you can say don't take penalties. You can say we just have to stay out of the box and don't do some of these things. The cross check, there's no way to put, there's nothing you can really do about that. He has to clear the front of the goal or it's going to be a goal. It ends up being a goal in the power play anyway, but we'll take our chances there. It's because the puck's down that deep as long as it was down there. The second one is a high stick. And yes, I'm aware the stick is lifted in, whatever. You're responsible for your own stick. White Cloud stick hits the guy in the face. It's a penalty. The reason those happen is because the puck was in the defensive zone too long. Against this team, you'll find yourself running around. You'll find yourself in deep, and you get in problems. And that's what happened on that one. Then, obviously, the shorthanded play is just a nightmare. Again, like, we look at what was said after game one, which was Edmonton constantly said, we're not good. We were not good in this game. It's nothing the Golden Knights did. I think there's a lot of that to be said in this game. The very first shift of the game, it's supposed to be a nothing shift. I just wrote about this. It's supposed to be get it in deep, forecheck, hit some people, turn it over to the next line with nothing having happened. Nope. It's wide open through the neutral zone. And it's going to take the Golden Knights having a better focus in this series on making sure they're behind the puck. You cannot be over the puck. And what I mean by that is when you have it, you can be wherever you want. But the second the other team gets it, you have to be in between your own goal and the puck. It's got to be 4 players, if not all 5, all the time. You cannot turn the puck over and allow them to come out because there's no way that the gap control can be good enough from the Golden Knights defensemen when they're coming out with speed. That's what was happening. Very first shift of the game, it happened. It happened consistently as the game went on. Absolute disaster because they just could not get enough offensive zone time. Now, how is that corrected? How do we fix that? That becomes the question moving forward. Standing here right now, I don't have a great answer for it. Having watched the game live, I really don't. Because it sounds so easy. Dump it in, make the plays. And I look at the last game, and a lot of the plays that were made were dump it in, get that first guy up there, challenge them against the boards, and then make the second pass difficult and make them blow it. They blew it way too often, Edmonton did, in game one. They didn't blow it hardly at all today. Even when they were retreating back into their own zone, Vegas just wasn't there with enough pressure. Now, I think there can be more jump. I think you can skate a little bit better. Your puck support can be better as these games go on, as you kind of get used to the speed that they're playing with, understand the angles that you want to take, the chances that you want to take. Yes, I think it can improve, but without them making their own mistakes, I'm not sure that we could just simply rely on whatever 30, 40, 50% of puck possession in the offensive zone like we were hoping for and what we saw in game one. Do I still think Vegas wins games 1, 3, 5, and 7? Yes, I do. I expect this series to go back and forth the entire way. I'm obviously a little bit more concerned about it today because this was a fanny whacking. And when a team gets waxed, it's concerning. Now we head back up there. I don't know what that building's going to be like. Golden Knights have played a ton of hockey in that building through the bubble. And then obviously having played there for every single season of their existence, except for that one where they were not in this, where Edmonton wasn't in the same division, but they should be fairly comfortable up there, but we'll see. I don't know. As far as like another thing that bugged me was at the end of the game, I go through and I give a VGK 3 stars, the best 3 players I have. And then if you follow us on, or if you subscribe to Winnow that you get our text alerts, I do players per period that I liked, which players which players I liked the most per period. Today, I don't even know how to pick. Like, I gave Laurent Brossoit the number 1 star because who made a huge impact? Who was doing enough good to kind of turn the tide? To me, that one shift from Carlson, and really was mostly Carlson Amadio. I don't want to throw Smith completely under the bus because when your line's having a good shift, you obviously have to be doing something, but I don't feel like he touched the puck all that much. And then the next one, you get the opportunity where Stone or Petrangelo's working it behind the goal. It moves off onto Howden, and you get that chance there. So, like, those two guys in that two moments kind of drag them in, okay? Like, that's good. That's what you want to see. But there wasn't enough of it. The best chance in the second period is a breakaway that it's nothing. Stone spins the puck out of the defensive zone directly onto Cody Cece's stick, and he bobbles it and botches it, and it goes up in the air, and then he falls down on his own face. Nothing to do, and Stevenson gets the breakaway and can't score it. Granted, I liked the opportunity that was set up for McNabb to hit that post. That was good. But as a whole, like, where we had the first game where it's like it was hard to pick a passenger, it was hard to find somebody who wasn't good enough. Today, it's the opposite. Today, it's like, who was good enough? And when the goalie who gives up 5 in the first, period and a half is the best player, what are we doing? So there's definitely some massive concern. Again, there's going to be peaks and valleys in this series. This is not Winnipeg without Mark Scheifele and Josh Morrissey. It's not. It's just not. Oh, that's a good call from Cody. This Periscope and all Periscopes are brought to you by Kondler & Associates CPAs. Go to KondlerCPA.com and tell them that SinBin sent you. They are fantastic CPAs over there, and they will help you out with all of your tax needs, crypto tax, business tax, easy stuff, all of your books if you have a business, do all that good stuff and make it happen. No, it's actually not what you're saying is going on. It's freezing in here. The second I walked in, it's freezing, and then they ran out of hot water, or at least it was limited hot water. I got some lukewarm water. I'm struggling. It's cold. I'm small. Leave me alone. But go to KondlerCPA.com. Tell them SinBin sent you. They are fantastic. I don't have a ton else to say right now because it just has to be a lot better. They have to do a lot more offensively by getting in the zone, staying in the zone, and forcing the issues that way. Has to be better. There's not a ton different from that. I'm going to dig into the first period tomorrow. I've got a whole bunch of time when I'm in Nashville, heading out to Edmonton tomorrow. We'll dig into the first period and see exactly what happened and how that went down. But for now, we're going to move over to Twitter Spaces. I'm going to open it up for you guys to talk, and we'll let some other people come on, and we'll see what you guys have to say, and I'll respond to some of that. I'm sure people want to talk about refs. I'm sure people want to talk about goalies. I'm sure people want to talk about Evander Kane, all of these things. I'll let you guys all get into it. So we'll move over to Twitter Spaces. Also going to be brought to you by Kondler & Associates CPAs, of course. So go over there, go to Twitter Spaces. We're going to launch that in about 3 or 4 minutes here. That's all I got for this. Good night, and see you over there.